Have you ever stood in your doorway with a box in your hands and wondered how it actually found you? Somewhere between a warehouse and the mat beneath your feet, there's a man whose entire day was built around this one small arrival. And his hours are stranger than you'd ever guess. You can call it a delivery, but for him it was an adventure, and it happened to end at your house. The brave worker we follow today is called Ricolus. He has been delivering packages his whole life, or rather, since he dropped out of Space Academy. And we asked him, of course, why he did that. Was delivering packages his dream? And did he not hope for a better life? He just answered, is there a better life? Or do we all just have different lives? Everything all of us do every day is trying to escape pain. This attempt is called suffering, and this endless cycle of torture is called life. For him, that is proof that he does not have to regret any of his decisions. Even though he had a point, our on-site reporters were too scared to ask further questions. And since this time slot was dedicated to interviewing content, we just asked psychologists what they think. And they believe that we are underneath everything remarkably alike. And yet, we insist on arranging ourselves into rankings, placing the rich above the poor and the clever above the simple. And they think they could measure life the way they measure their dick. But the wealthy are so often quietly unhappy, and the clever so often think a thing to death instead of doing it, which leaves the poor man and the plain man standing somewhere the others can't reach. And our delivery guy is both poor and plain, which led to him being trapped in this terrible situation. He had picked up an order from DoorDash 3, but what he didn't know is that this order was not rightfully paid for, and the actual owner was now engaging into a fight, not knowing that this was just a misunderstanding. He put up a good fight, but unfortunately for our little delivery guy, his ship broke. And even though he was raised a strong man by his very conservative father, he did fear death. And this is why he made his way to his escape capsule, trying to avoid it. The pain of death. That's where we make the full circle. We're trying to avoid pain every day. Hey! Death. It is not that important. Do you know how many humans there are? Do you know how many delivery drivers there are we can track and make a documentary about? None of us are really important. This delivery guy is called Rico. He's doing this for the first time. This is his first job, which is why he doesn't know where to pick up the goods. He started this job as a delivery guy to care for his demented mother. If I told you he died, would you be sad? If I told you no one would remember him, not even his mother, would you be even more sad? The absence of memory means also the absence of pain. For an empath, not being remembered should be a good thing. And guess what species of animals are empaths? Humans. So why do they want to be remembered? I have no idea. Rico also probably has no idea. All he knows is that he has to pick up a package, and first he has to find it, and if somebody tries to stand in his way, they have to die. As all of us do, he justifies the bad with good. He has to kill to make sure his sick mother is safe. Wait, I forgot I made this up to give you a hypothetical thought experiment. Actually, he will spend all of the earnings from delivery on space weed. Opinions about him are rarely different. He's a delivery guy that's probably stoned right now. Me, you, all of us would probably say he's throwing his life away. But if you lay out everything you could ever have, beside everything you already have, you will find yourself in the middle of that scale. Exactly as every other human being does. All that is left is where you choose to look. downward and be at peace with how far you have come, or upward into a hunger that never ends, afraid that someone is about to take the thing you never even had. And he stopped looking up. He gave up, and that is all he did, and we judge him for that. Also, I judge him for not figuring out that he has to go to the goddamn freight elevator to pick up the packages. He's just running around aimlessly like a blind rat, thinking that the solution will just appear in front of him. To be fair, he does not know that we're seeing all of this. We attached a camera secretly to his helmet to film the documentary. It brings joy to us seeing someone fail so stupidly. Look what he tries to pick up. You can't even pick that up. What a dumbass. Places like these are often used for dubious trading. So it's not really fair to judge him for not finding what he has to pick up, since everything is looking kind of trashy. If you order something from the black market, for example, I personally always pick the address of the empty house at the end of my street, because if somebody tries to connect me to the address, they can't. And if somebody tries to kill me who's delivering something from the black internet, yes, that's how they call the darknet in the future, because racism doesn't exist anymore. For us future people, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, we have found aliens and we can be racist to them. Us humans, we don't even have different races. We're all the human race. That is because at one point of our evolution, we almost died out, and now we have a very low genetic variation. And the human race just has different phenotypes. So if you don't like people based on their skin color, hair texture, or facial features, you would be a phenotypist. So what I actually wanted to get at is that I don't really understand why this sketchy location was chosen. Because hydrogen is not only not illegal, but it is also the most common atom in the universe. Back in 2026, if you wanted to buy 1 kilogram of hydrogen, it would cost you $1.20. You could have also chosen more expensive options, ranging up to $6 per kilogram, because the cheap version had high emissions from 8 to 12 kilograms of like these bad gases we don't want in the atmosphere. But Earth is destroyed anyway, so who the fuck cares? Rico now was investigating the spacecraft that was parked near the tower, yet the pilot could also not give him information on where to find, voice crack, the packages. So he thought maybe this was just an either-or thing. Maybe the stuff was at the other marker for collect shipment. Man, I love when the sky is piss yellow. Looks so beautiful, but not as beautiful as you. So Rico tried to do what the other guy did at the other tower. There's something important there, you don't want to miss it. For example, the hydrogen. And I'm going to be honest, this looks like hydrogen. I would have also thought that that was the hydrogen, but it was not. And there was actually not really anything up there. Well, besides the great view in the piss yellow sky, of course. And then people say the sky is blue. Look at the sky, it's piss yellow. And I think I have to go to the toilet now. FYI, TMI, or whatever I was in the toilet for 3 hours right now, and I didn't even have my phone. I think I hit a new record. And I also think that Rico finally realized that there is actually a freight elevator. Rico knew what a freight elevator was, just didn't see any. And that's why he thought he had to pick up the packages somewhere else. Finally, the hydrogen packages placed there by the underground goblins specialized on cargo movement. Rico here was a little bit overproductive. He saw the other marker for pickup shipment and thought that there was another. But if he would have just counted the amount of boxes, he would have realized that this amount was the right one. Since Rico is from Papua New Guinea, he has trouble with counting. Traditionally, they count on a system of 27 body parts, running from the thumb up the arm, across the nose and down the other side. So there's no word for 14, you just say nose, because that's where the 14 is. Ask someone how many pigs they own, and the answer isn't spoken so much as pointed at. It is the only culture upon this earth for whom the question, how old was our Lord Jesus Christ when he died, is rightly answered by the pointing of a finger at one's own genitals. Meanwhile, the delivery guy finally realized that he already had what he needed and left this ugly planet by flying into its piss yellow sky. And trust me, I know exactly what you're asking yourself right now. Why is piss yellow? Well, the answer lies in the blood. Every red corpuscule serves some 4 months carrying breath about the body, and when it is spent, the liver breaks it open, keeps back the iron as too precious to squander, and renders the rest into a yellow-brown pigment, which the gut's multitudes work upon further until the kidneys draw it off into your piss as a substance called urobilin. Yellow by its very nature, and the thicker the piss, the deeper the gold. The color is just a quiet daily accounting of a body dismantling its own dead and pissing the remnants away. The one who ordered the hydrogen lives on an asteroid. One lit and stubborn address in a very patient void. And sadly, he had a hemorrhoid. And ask the man who brought it if he's grown a touch paranoid. The driver says that out here there's little to avoid. No weather, no dogs barking, nothing left to be destroyed. Just him and half a ton of what the first stars once deployed, back when the sky was young and nobody was employed. The buyer hauls the crate inside, quiet, faintly overjoyed, while the driver turns his van around and drifts off through the void. Now the void doesn't leave our delivery guy alone, and he still has to make money, since it is slowly being smoked up. UPS is a great service and they often carry very expensive things, which is why they often get destroyed by pirates and sometimes even robbed. So UPS reaches out to delivery guys like Rico to ask to retrieve a package and deliver it to the customer. Especially in this harsh economy, sometimes Rico has to destroy the UPS trucks by himself. And we're not saying he did that this time, but he could have. And he's definitely not getting rid of the flight recorder that could show that he was the one who could have destroyed the ship, theoretically. But jailbreak flight recorders are also one of the most desired things in the universe. Since porn was forbidden by the Chinese government, which also reigns over the whole galaxy now, the only way to watch people love each other is now the flight recorder. It records everything. Fun times on the ship, when you're alone in space, maybe not too alone, maybe with a good friend. So there's a huge market for flight recorders, which not only records the flights but also what is going on inside the ship, as I just said. My dad told me once that people will always want to watch porn. Humans don't change in the future, just their technology does. If our delivery driver Rico wouldn't have his high-tech virtual reality porn system in the back of his ship, he would have given up a long time ago. He personally says that he hates his job, but not because of the silence. The silence is only weather out there, and a man learns to dress for weather. He loads up packages where nothing is alive to greet him and unloads where nobody is waiting, and not even his mom is occasionally ordering something so he could have an excuse to come home for once. Aren't wrecked ships beautiful? Nothing rots out there. So a hull that failed 40 years ago is still holding a jacket on the back of a chair exactly where its owner left it. Also, the vessel still turns very slowly on some axis it inherited from its last bad moment. And most of the people think that gravestones are cool, but I think it's the wrecked ships. Also, I don't think that anyone thinks that gravestones are cool. Rico now just had to cross a thick layer of clouds to reach his destination. And even if it sounds weird, his only wish was to see the face of the person who he is delivering the package to. Because nobody really works for money. Money is only the thing that gets you out of bed, like the first year. After then, pretty much everyone gets used to it and starts to hunt for a reason underneath it all. As he comes up the path carrying something that has been wanted for weeks by someone who has no idea he exists, the closer he gets, the quieter the world becomes. He sets it down at a house he will never enter and hopes a face he will never see will break out into a smile. And then it starts again, picking something up and delivering it. It is incredible to see how unbelievable unhealthy this is for the brain. Doing the same thing over and over again does not only deteriorate it, but also destroy it from beneath. It is like water hitting a stone at the same spot for over 1,000 years. But since our brain is a little softer than a stone, it doesn't take long until it breaks. And they say Sisyphus might be happy, or whatever the phrase is. But I don't think so at all. He might have a purpose for eternity, but man cannot be happy with not achieving anything. Either man gains or he loses. Without having an opposite to what you're doing, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It is just like life has no value without death. But as we can see in our subject, it craves variation. It resists its contract to investigate its surroundings, trying to find an adventure or maybe something of value. Finding a treasure that was left by both parties who killed each other in battle could push him out of this endless cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. But sadly, as a delivery driver, you are not born with an eye for treasure. You cannot determine what something is worth by just looking at it if you're just looking at packages every day, just knowing that something expensive is in there. Some people who are locked in a cycle of life even start to kill for fun, but eventually they will get conscious again. And they will be able to just continue on like they have always done. The trap of repetition is that you can't escape it. Routines lock the human brain in place, and even though it tries to escape sometimes by doing something extreme, it will always fail and fall back into repetition. Another delivery guy has landed on the site, and delivery guys intend to meet each other with force. Evolution rewards individuals for out-reproducing others, not for being nice to their own species. So killing a rival pays off. Usually the delivery guy just sets up a trap inside the ship of his victim to catch it off guard. Lions will kill cubs if they aren't theirs, so the mother's ready to breed again. Or ants slaughtering ants from another colony because they're competing for the same nest. But since delivery guys don't even reproduce, it is a long unanswered question why they even do that. Also, as you can see, it got tired of waiting inside the ship and is now planning a devious attempt of destroying it. Even though if the other delivery guy gets the resources first, it won't matter if he doesn't have a ship. Sadly, the explosion was way too small and it didn't even scratch it. And that settled it, the natural selection. Our delivery guy lost. And with having no packages to deliver, he had to switch sides. Still deliver packages, but illegally. And that is called smuggling. The most common resource to smuggle nowadays are humans. You just put them in a freezer for a few hours and then you can store them on a ship and they will just act like normal cargo. No complaining, no asking for drinks, you know? The big smuggle, who's the guy who's in charge of all the smugglers, also advertises this method by saying you will stay young. Being frozen doesn't only eliminate the passing of time for your mind, but also for your body. Everyone else's cells will have aged the time you were traveling, but yours didn't, duh. Great anti-ager for poor people. Rich people just use stem cells for anti-aging. Delivery guys love this type of cargo the most. It makes them feel like they have a friend. And the best type of friends, they shut up. And they do because they're frozen. Weird thing is though that there are wormholes in this universe which make it not really necessary to be frozen, since traveling only takes like 10 minutes. But did you know that every wormhole throat carries a 50% chance of failure? Not just killing the traveler, unmaking the whole universe itself, like instantly. But since this obviously never happened, nobody even knows about this. How do I know about the 50-50 rule then? I know everything. I even know the man behind you. The problem is just that normally when something is dangerous, and we find out, because even when it goes wrong, somebody survives to say, hey man, that almost killed me. That's how we know smoking is bad or that certain roads are dangerous to drive on. But this danger breaks the rule kind of. If the coin flip goes the bad way, there's no aftermath. So the only outcome gets to be only the good one, every time for everyone and forever. And that's not because it's suddenly safe, but because reality keeps branching and every branch is equally real. Then, from the point of view of anyone still around to ask a question, they will always find themselves in a branch where they survived, no matter how unlikely the survival was, simply because the branches where they didn't survive have no version anymore. And that is why 1,000 people can fly through a wormhole that has the 50% chance of nullifying the whole universe every day and arrive every single time. I think I got the perfect name for that. Schrödinger's hole. Or Schrödinger's worm also works. Now the key of smuggling is kind of not getting caught by authorities. As long as you're not observed doing a crime, you're not doing it. And that is Schrödinger's crime. And I think since there are so many Schrödingers, there must be a Schrödinger's Schrödinger. A Schrödinger that has done literally everything, but we can't say because we haven't observed him doing it. So there is a Schrödinger that has slept with your mom. Now back to the topic. If there's a policeman watching you unloading your illegal cargo, just like it is happening to our delivery guy right now, just do it confidently. Just do it like you do it every day and like it's legal stuff, and don't get nervous. Especially don't hit yourself with the boxes. But I think that police guy is thinking about Schrödinger and his wife together in bed. And that is what saves our delivery guy from his attention and possible jail. Delivery guys are rarely careful with the cargo. I think every second package I've ever got, the thing inside was broken. So probably half of those people have broken arms now. But there's a guarantee and the warehouse can detect that. So if they do have broken arms, they'll just send them back up and make it the problem of the delivery guy. He then has to adopt those people or something like that. And this is the tragic goodbye. The delivery guy is very sad about leaving his friends Ben, Jerry, Hagen and Daz, and a tear rolls down his cheek. He licks it up and thinks, oh yummy, it's so salty. But then all his tears dry as he sees that Ben, Jerry, Hagen and Daz are coming back up. A common trick frozen human smugglers use are stacking all of them on top of each other, so the X-ray machine inside of the warehouse can't detect any broken bones, since all the skeletons are overlaying each other, and then it seems like every bone is not broken because it's the bone beneath it, and that works every time. Finally, only one more delivery left on this long and exhausting workday. Since payment for delivery guys is measured by the Pyro star date, one shift of delivering stuff takes over 35 hours. This time alien worm eggs had to be delivered, and they are stolen straight from the worm family. The delivery guy first has to kill Mama Worm, Papa Worm, Grandma Worm, Grandpa Worm, and even the weird Uncle Worm. But those were the only worms the delivery guy had to extinguish. The other worms are actually supporting this cause, and they are the ones who are selling the worm eggs in a cargo box. I'm actually wondering how the physics of the tractor beam work. Wouldn't the force of the gravitational pull from these heavy cargo boxes just go straight to the tractor beam gun? Yes, they do. But our delivery guy is so strong-minded he can just easily lift a gun that is 3 tons heavy. It is common for delivery guys to be torta pounders, and tortas in space can be, well, up to 3 tons because on most moons there's not that much gravity, which makes it easier on the heart to be a little fat. And with a little, I mean extremely. And if you ask a delivery guy if he is actually a torta pounder, he will probably say no, but only because it is like driving one of these small motorcycles. Fun, but embarrassing. And it's also not rare that space doctors suggests becoming a torta pounder, but not to become stronger or more healthy, but because these doctors have a lot of daughters that stay unmarried. And this is very paradoxical if this is actually a word. Since children always do the opposite of what parents suggests, doctors will have unhealthy children, period. Alien eggs, which are, if you remember the thing that our delivery guy is delivering right now, a delicacy for asteroid people, since asteroid people are usually alien lizards, and alien lizards eat alien eggs. That's just the rules. Nobody really knows what alien lizards actually look like because they never show themselves. They think they're ugly, but some claim that they are the most beautiful creature in space. Beauty is judged from the outside, but since lizards are also the most emotional and sensitive creatures too, they're just stuck living on the inside. And that is an angle nobody else can see. The peacock, for example, never gets to be dazzled by its own tail. It only ever sees the plain grey chest underneath it, which is, infuriatingly, the view everyone else is missing out on. But that's none of the delivery guy's business. His business is done. The eggs are finally delivered, and with this last delivery, this workday is finally over.